Hello again. Let's do the passenger practice test. I feel pretty good about air brakes. I felt pretty good about it when I went down to DPS and failed, but I think I'm good. Now let's try passenger. I always forget something every time. Setting up the phone to monitor. Error. There we go. Oh, it's not loading the chat. That's fine. Am I? I might have knocked over my Wi-Fi router. Perhaps, possibly, at some point in the recent past. My computer is just hooked right into the internet. Okay. So I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi on my computer. I should probably pick up that router. You must stop your bus between 15 and 50 feet before a railroad crossing. That's it. I did some studying for this one. Oh, yeah, look at me. You need to evacuate your bus in an emergency. Passengers should be directed to a safe place no less than blank feet from the bus. Think 100? I'm pretty sure it's 100. It's 100. Off tracking of the rear wheels is affected by faster speed on turns and curves. Off tracking is when your back wheels aren't going the same trajectory as your front wheels. So, like, just all the time, right? Sharper turns and curves. Greater distance between the front and wheels. All answers are correct. I think it's all answers. I'm taking this down. I had this anti-fog stuff, which was working when I did Red Dead Redemption. It just wears off so fast. So maybe next time I can be the bandit again. I'm going to say all of the answers are correct. Correct. Your bus is disabled. The bus with riders aboard may be towed or pushed to a safe place only by another bus with its four-way flashers on, by a tow truck with a greater vehicle weight rating of at least 27,000 pounds, the distance is less than 1 mile, if getting off the bus would be riskier for the riders. It's that one. Rider safety is above all else, even your own. When driving at more than 40 miles per hour, what is the safe minimum following distance for ideal daytime conditions? 1 second for every 10 feet of vehicle length round upward. 1 second for every 10 feet of vehicle length, rounded upward plus 1 second, 4 seconds. 4 seconds. It's ideal conditions. 40 miles per hour, that's the difference. 1 second for every 10 feet of vehicle length, rounded upward plus 1 second. Yeah, the 40 miles per hour should have told me right off the bat that 4 seconds is the wrong answer, because above 40 miles an hour, you add an extra second of your stopping distance or following distance, or both. If you have riders aboard, you must never fuel your bus with a higher grade of fuel in a closed building without a static chain with any windows open inside a closed building. Carry-on baggage cannot be stored behind the seats, on the seats, in the aisles. Anyone that's ever been on a bus, they know that. Or on a plane, or anything else of that nature. The driver's seat should be adjusted only when the bus is at a stop, only when the bus is moving at 30 miles per hour or less, whenever the driver finds it necessary while driving, only while the bus is stopped. Buses may have recapped or regrooved tires only or all the wheels, on any or all the wheels, only when the average speed will be less than 40 miles per hour, only on the outside wheel of a dual wheel, anywhere except the front wheels. That's the same for like tractors. When you are not sure who has the right of way, the safest course of action is to let the vehicle on the right have the right of way. Let whoever got there first have the right of way. Let other driver have the right of way. Just let them have it. You get paid by the hour in a bus. Commercial bus drivers must have a CDL if they drive a vehicle that is designed to carry more than 9 passengers. They drive a vehicle that has a gross weight rating of more than 26,000 pounds. They drive a vehicle that is designed to carry more than 16 passengers, including the driver. I think with a Class C, you can do up to 20 passengers. So, and I think that's at 26,000 gross weight. So I'm going to go with B. No. The driver, they drive a vehicle that is designed to carry more than 16 passengers, including the driver. I thought it was 20. I guess the number is 16. Good to know. You must have a CDL to operate a vehicle designed to transport 16 or more passengers, including the bus driver. That was the same thing as the other. The correct answer and the explanation are the same thing. The interlock system for the brake and accelerator on a transit coach bus may be used to replace a parking brake, to replace the rear door emergency buzzer as a safety feature when to when the exit door is open? All the answers are correct. The interlock system for the brake and accelerator on a transit coach, so like a city bus, may be used to replace the parking brake. That doesn't seem right. To replace the rear door emergency buzzer, that wouldn't make sense. I don't think the interlock system activates a siren as a safety feature when the exit door is open. I'm going to say as a safety feature for when the door is open to make sure you don't start accelerating whenever someone's trying to step off the bus. All right. I actually didn't see that one pop up anywhere. But the other two just didn't really seem like anything. It just seemed like gibberish. According to federal regulations, the minimum depth required for tire tread on steering axle is blank of an inch. I know it's one of these two. I just got to think about it. Which one's safer? Is 430 seconds more the depth? If the wall is 1 inch thick, 430 seconds deep would be deeper than 230. So let's go 4. All right. The minimum tread depth for commercial vehicles on the front or steer axle is 430 seconds of an inch. Which of these forms of signaling is not recommended? Signaling to others that it is safe to pass your bus, using four-way flashers to warn of danger ahead, signaling to others that you can change lanes. All of the previous answers are proper to use. You should not signal to people that it's safe to pass. You don't want that freaking liability, because if you're at like a four-way or something and you motion for someone to go, and then unbeknownst to you, on your left side, there's someone just passing you illegally that's also going to pass through the stop sign. They barrel through the intersection. The person you waved, it's safe, gets T-boned. Who do you think is responsible for that? You are. You can say all day that the person that blew the intersection is at fault. And that's true, but that wouldn't have happened had you not waved the person on. And if it did, they just went ahead without you signaling whatsoever, well, then it's on them. You don't have any liability in that situation. The standee line is a 2-inch line on the floor to the rear of the driver's seat. There is no such thing on a bus. A 2-inch line dividing the aisle in half. I know on some buses you can stand and they have something for you to hold on to. So I don't know if that. And I think, if I remember correctly, in all the buses I've been in, directly behind the driver's seat is nothing. It's like a no go zone. I'm going to say it doesn't exist. This is a genuine shot in the dark, though. No, it does exist. A 2-inch line on the floor to the rear of the driver's seat. Explanation: buses designed to allow standing must have a 2-inch line on the floor or some other means of showing riders where they cannot stand. This is called a standee line. With a name like that, you would think this is the place to stand. Like, get over there to the standee line, you stander. I'm telling you, my brain was just not made for this world. But okay, the standee line is where if you stand there, straight to jail. Don't stand on the standee line. Moron! Now you're going to prison. Idiot. It's a wild, wild world. It really is. Okay. Don't stand on the standee line. Why would you think you should stand on or near the standee line? What's in your head? A dandelion? Okay. That's enough of that. The standee line is a 2-inch line behind the driver's seat that identifies it as a space that people cannot stand. And you see them on buses that people are allowed to stand on. So what is the other lines? The no standee line? Okay, I gotta move on. I can't be on this all night. I gotta take a test tomorrow. All the following should be in good working order before driving. Which item must be in good working order before the bus can leave? Destination sign, service brakes, restroom service brakes. The service brake should be tested and in working order before the bus leaves. Good deal. Good deal. I like that that is a rule. I'm happy that rule exists. At the end of each shift, you should inspect your bus, report any defects, take all all of these are correct. At the end of your shift, you should do your post-trip inspection, reporting any defects or repairs needed, and take all of your personal belongings. Before you start to drive, you must inspect all of the following: the steering mechanism, the AM, FM, the parking brake, the windshield wipers. All of the following. More than one. Okay, this is something you don't have to inspect. AM, FM? Okay. Before you start to drive, you must check all the critical systems such as steering, brakes, tires, and emergency equipment to be sure they work properly. For the passenger safety, you must also such check such interior items as seats, handholds, handholds, railings, signaling devices, and emergency exits. The traffic light on the drawbridge is green. You should cross as fast as possible, slow down and make sure it's safe to proceed, stop at least 100 feet before the drawbridge, stop and wait for the attendant's instructions. This will never happen in Texas. This will never. But what if? What if it does? What if there's a drawbridge in Greenville somewhere that I'm just not aware of? That would be really interesting. I hope it happens. That would be really cool. But I don't think it will. The traffic light on a drawbridge is green. Slow down and make sure it's safe? Do drawbridges have attendants? And if they do, would they know a bus is stopped? Because thinking about it, I'm pretty sure I've seen compartments under the bridges that are drawbridges for the attendant to attend. But would they know a bus is up there? Is part of the rules whenever you close the drawbridge that you come up to the light and maybe you have to visually inspect what's up there, and then there's a control panel on the signal that the bridge guy can change to no. Well, I mean, maybe they can change it and stuff. Yeah, maybe they have to be up there to make it green. Like whenever it's red and the bridge is opening and closing, it's just red until the attendant gets up there after the bridge is closed and turns it green, at which point they would be able to see who's at the light. So they would be able to instruct a bus that it's safe to cross. I don't know. It's B or it's D. I'm going to choose D. Wrong. Slow down and make sure it's safe to proceed. I'm overthinking the safety stuff, which I shouldn't be a problem, right? My brain is always geared to safety, like all the time. I'll be doing something actively and just like, this is really dangerous. Maybe I shouldn't have started this. Well, too late. If I stop, it'll Be really, really dangerous. Just gotta push through. Did I tell y'all I'm crazy yet? I feel like I say it pretty often, but just so you know, just in case you hadn't heard, now you know. So, at a drawbridge, you just slow down and make sure it's safe. You do not need to stop, but must slow down and make sure it's safe when there is a traffic light showing green, or the bridge has an attendant or traffic officer who controls traffic whenever the bridge opens. See, that's what I was talking about. So they do exist. I was on the right track. You do not need to stop, but must slow down and make sure it's safe when there is a traffic light showing green, or the bridge has an attendant or traffic officer who controls the traffic whenever the bridge opens. Well, I take it back. That's someone whose job it is to be there and act as the signal. So I take it back. I was wrong. But I shouldn't be. You're taking jobs away from drawbridge attendants by putting signal lights out there. Did you even think of that? Didn't think so. If you are performing your vehicle inspection test on a coach or transit bus, you will have to inspect the baggage compartments to make sure that the baggage compartment doors blank securely. Open, lift, close, latch. Latch, right? Latch? Yes, all right. As you check the outside of the bus, close and open emergency exits. Also, close and open access panels for baggage, restroom service. Yeah, I hope I never have to drive a bus with that, a restroom on it. I'd rather not. Engine, etc. Before driving, and make sure they all latch properly. Yeah, because you can close something and it can be closed just fine as far as not being open is concerned. But if it don't latch, it didn't latch. So I'm glad I just knew that one from lived experience. Bus accidents often happen in parking lots, on roundabouts, on highways, at intersections. I want to say at intersections because what I was talking about earlier, where someone will just try to pass you on the left or right, just whichever they feel like it, and they'll barrel through an intersection. What if two buses get to an intersection at the same time? And one has the right of way, so they begin to go, and the person behind the other bus says, screw that noise, and tries to zip around. But the bus is coming like this, there's another bus, running here, and then, So I want to say at intersections. And I also think just most accidents in general happen at intersections. Correct. Bus accidents often happen at intersections. Use caution even if a signal or stop sign controls the traffic. Yes. Do that in a car too. When stopping for railroad tracks, you must stop no closer than how many feet before the nearest track? 15. You must stop between 15 and 50 feet from the nearest rail at a railroad crossing. When should you check your mirrors for a lane change? Before and after signaling the change, right after starting the lane change, after completing the lane change. When should you check mirror? Yeah, all of the above. For the Lance chain Lance Lance change? For a lane change, check your mirrors before you change lanes to make sure there is enough room after you have signaled, right after you start a lane change to double check that your path is clear, and after you complete the lane change. Just always be looking in your mirrors in between looking right in front of you at the road. Like, you know how lifeguards, part of their strategy is to like bob their heads as they're looking over the water? Kind of do something like that, but with mirrors and the road right in front of you. Just always be like, doo, 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 doo. Just always be aware of everything. When transporting passengers on a charter or intercity buses, you should explain passenger comfort and safety rules. If a passenger asks you about them before the trip, if a violation occurs while on the road before the trip. Many charter and intercity carriers have passenger comfort, and safety rules. Mention the rules about smoking. Wow, how old is this? How old are the people on the bus going to be? It's vaping now. Smoking, drinking, or use of radio and tape player. Radio and tape? Okay, buddy. Okay. Before the start of the trip, explaining the rules at the start will help avoid trouble later on. Them damn kids and their tape players, I swear. Every time I go out in public, you see a kid with those styrofoam headphones and their rock and roll music tapes, listening to the radio. Okay, man, this is old. Old. Which of the following systems statements are true? You can tow a disabled bus with passengers aboard only to the nearest safe spot to let them off. That's the answer. You can tow a disabled bus with riders aboard only if it's dangerous for the riders to get off. That's also true. they're both true. Bingo. Explanation. Do not tow or push a disabled bus with riders aboard the vehicle, unless getting off would be unsafe. Only tow or push the bus to the nearest safe spot to discharge the passengers. Yeah, we're going to discharge you off the bus as soon as it's safe. Just you wait. I'm going to discharge you so hard. I think I passed. Let's see. Calculate score. 84. Congratulations. You passed with a score of 84. We knew you could do it. Make sure to take all practice tests for each section because they are all different. Keep going. You have got this. Oh, damn, I'm going to have to take the tank endorsement. It just told me I got to take all of them. Oh, man. Let's see how many there are, actually. We got the special Texas. General knowledge. I passed that one. Air brakes. I failed, but I'm feeling good about it tomorrow. I got a good feeling. Combinations. I don't need it. That's what separates a B license from an A license. And the vehicle weight. Hazardous material. Don't need it. Tanker. Don't need it. Doubles, triples. Don't need it. Passenger. Beat it. School bus. Need it. Pre-trip. Post free pre-trip videos. Yeah, I heard you got to do a pre-trip before you can take the road test, but that really shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I used to do them every day. I know it's more than a just check the main things kind of pre-trip. It's like actually get under the hood, probably. I could watch one of these videos and find out. I won't be taking that test for a while. And where I'm getting a job at, they teach you how to do all of that. They told me just get the permit. And they didn't say get a permit with passenger and school bus. I just assumed. So, maybe they meant just get a permit, which would be the general knowledge, the Texas general knowledge, and the air brakes. That would be enough for you to get a permit. But I'm going to show up with everything. I'm going to be like, I got it all. Except I need y'all to teach me what they're looking for with a pre-trip. But we'll see. Oh, I think I need to get 14 hours of in-class training, I want to say. They definitely didn't ask me for any kind of certification or signed off paperwork whenever I, said I wanted to do the school bus endorsement. So hopefully they're not. I can take every endorsement test 3 times. If I fail, all 3 times for any of the tests, I got to restart. That's fair. That's okay. I'm just thinking, and you have 3 months to take the test after you apply for the permit. So if I pass the passenger test and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, where's your paperwork from the 14 hours of in-class training you did? I'll be like, give me a minute. At least 2 days, I'll be back. I'll go down to the people that are going to hire me. I'll be like, hey, buddy, guess what? I need you to do me a favor. I'll be doing you a favor as well because they need bus drivers really freaking bad. When I showed up at the place, it wasn't to apply to be a bus driver. I was just going to see what was available because I needed a job. Still do, but I'm about to get one in a couple of days. But, anyways, when I went down to this place, they got schools locked down like for real. Like, me, I showed up at a school and there's a fence around the perimeter, and I'm just standing out there like at the gate, like, and someone was coming up to the gate, and I was like, hello, hey, I'm just, I told him what's up. And he had to get a key card out to let me in, and he walked with me to the auxiliary staffing trailer. Yeah. But if you haven't noticed, I am the type of guy that if I got a question, I'll just go ask it. I won't wait around, for emails or callbacks. It's like, I want to know. And I know where I can get the information. So, see you later. I'm going to go pay them a visit. And I have taken that to its extremes. Like, stories I can't tell you kind of extremes about, I'm going to go get this information and it's going to happen. They're going to tell me. I'll just stop talking there. I'll also stop streaming here. Hopefully, next time I stream, I'll have my permit. I might stream tomorrow before going down there just to have a little refresher, but maybe not. I've been so tired the past couple of days, so if I'm tired again, I probably won't stream. I'll save my energy for the test. But yeah.